So it's been about a month and a half since I got laid off. So here are 8 things that I learned after getting laid off as a 24-year-old UX designer living in New York City. I realized being unemployed is literally a full-time job. I honestly feel like I'm doing more work than when I was actually employed. Looking for jobs, applying for jobs, writing cover letters, revising resumes and portfolio, interview prepping, networking. It's definitely more than just clicking a submit button. Always be prepared and don't get too attached or comfortable at your job. Most employment in corporate America is at will, which means you can quit your job and be let go at any time with or without a reason. Third one is appreciate the current things you have. Don't run away from something if you're not running towards something. Try to make the most out of what you currently have because once it's gone, you'll regret it. But also learn to let go of things that don't serve you. This includes bad habits, old objects, and even people. If you're going through the same thing, number 5 is to stop comparing yourself with everyone else. I know it's hard, but I truly believe everyone has their own timeline. The next one's kind of cliche, but make sure you have a routine. I always try to journal, read, and go to the gym. Number 7 is be mindful of who you spend your time with. Surround yourself with people that you want to be like. And finally, be persistent and patient. I'm also still working on this, but good luck to everyone out there applying for jobs.
Next month will be officially 1 year since I have been unemployed and got laid off from my agency job. I've networked with barely anybody responding back to me. I've interviewed, got to multiple last rounds. Always got the same feedback that they went with somebody with more experience, but I was a great candidate. I've applied to over 1,000 jobs. I've applied to even low-paying jobs. I've applied to internships. I don't know what else to do. I ask questions at the end of the interview. I get to know them. I don't know what else they want from me.
What do you actually do when you've lost your job? How do you survive? How do you get by? It is absolutely insane how the job market has completely shifted. People are getting fired. Companies are laying off hundreds of thousands of employees just in the last 6 months alone, replacing them with AI or simply cutting costs. So what's going to happen? Everybody is going to continue to struggle. People were struggling with jobs. Now that the market's terrible, now that the economy is trash and everything is so much more expensive, gas is $7 a gallon in some places, how are we supposed to survive? What is life going to look like after layoffs? Are we going to be clipping coupons nonstop? Are we going to be begging on the streets? It is nuts, the position that so many people are trapped in right now for so many reasons. The wealth gap continues to increase. The rich are getting richer. They're building data centers, polluting the water. And guess what? The poor are simply staying poorer. And no one is coming to help. Hopefully this changes, but long term, this is going to have a catastrophic effect, not only on the economy, but on the wage gap, where the rich, again, are making so much money and the poor are stuck. So what are we going to do? I have no idea, but we're going to have to live with life after layoffs, making no money and just doing whatever we can to get by.
I'm a little embarrassed to talk about this, but it's going to be relatable. And so you're not alone. Okay. So I spoke way too soon. The job market is horrible. I'm definitely not going to have a full-time job in 30 days of being laid off. That was a joke. But for example, I had 6 people refer me into a role at OpenAI that I was a perfect fit for. I worked on my resume. I had my recruiting friends look at it. I had ChatGPT look at my resume. I was so excited. I've done this exact role at a massive company that has been super successful in the marketing space, still rejected from OpenAI with 6 referrals and the exact experience that job description was looking for. And that keeps happening to me at all of these companies. And I've worked at some of the best companies. I've worked at Meta, BCG. I have early stage startup experience. I have everything a company would want. I've been promoted throughout my career, literally have been a top performer at every place I've ever been at. And I just keep getting rejected left and right. It's almost comical at this point, but I'm actually stressed that I'm going to have to move out of my apartment in New York because my rent is $5,500 a month and I'm stressed. I'm stressed. So if anybody has any words of encouragement, let me know because this girl is just down in the dumps.
I got laid off last December, and the worst part about not having a job is not what most people would think it is. It's not the fact that I am not making enough money. It's not the fact that I don't have anywhere to go. It is the insane guilt that I wake up with and go to bed with every single night. It is the fact that even on a weekend, I feel more relieved because my responsibility to find a job ceases on the weekend, because if nobody else is working on the weekend, then I'm allowed to not have a job on the weekend. But the second Monday rolls around, the guilt is back.
And I don't think enough people talk about this, and it never goes away. And it feels fully like it's your fault, no matter how many times you're applying for jobs, no matter how qualified you are for what you're applying for. Just guilt. I just feel insanely guilty, like I have done something wrong or am doing something wrong. So you can't even enjoy your days off. And I think that just says a lot about our society and the value that we place on working. And don't get me wrong, like I still have side hustles and stuff, right? But it's that guilt of not having that 9 to 5 structure. It's the same way I would feel if I had a part-time job right now with a degree. It's just guilt. It's sick. It's sick, and I wish I could unlearn it. I wish I could not know what it's felt. I've worked every single day since I was like 16 years old. So not having a job feels like I'm letting someone down because of the guilt. And I'm going crazy a little bit, I think. So let me know if you have any recommendations.
I've actually had quite a few people ask me how my job search has been going. If you are unaware, I was laid off from my full-time job exactly a month ago, and I posted a video about it. It went viral and whatever, but I've had people ask me how my job search is going. If you couldn't tell by how puffy my eyes are, it's not going well. I feel like today is like the first time in the last month that I like actually had like a full-fledged breakdown just about the job market and things like that. It's really hard when like you go through an interview process somewhere and you are really hopeful about a job and then you don't get the job. And the job market is so tough because jobs want like 3 to 4 years of experience, and most people like don't have that. Like, I've just kind of come to the realization I have so much shit coming up this year between weddings, trips, my wedding, my honeymoon. Our lease is up in June, and I hate crying on the internet, but it's just all very, very overwhelming, and it's really hard to even like have your application be seen by most companies. Like, I just feel like when you apply on LinkedIn, your application is literally viewed by like AI, not a real person, so you're not getting through to someone. I've also just seen so many videos like on my For You page this week and like just over the past month actually of just people being laid off, and some of the comments are just like so mean on those videos. And even my video, like I got so much like hate on my videos. I haven't talked about being laid off since those videos just because I was tired of like receiving negative comments about it. But at the end of the day, like when you're laid off, like your income is literally taken from you without notice for something that like you didn't do. Like, it's not like you got fired for something. I am so mentally just exhausted.
Okay, I was not planning on making any videos today, but with all these layoffs going on, here are 3 things you need to do the second you get laid off. Number 1 is to take a deep breath. You are not your job, and being laid off is not embarrassing or shameful. It means that the company you worked for made poor hiring priorities, and you and your coworkers are facing the consequences. It is not a reflection of your worth. These things just happen, and everyone understands that. Number 2, immediately before anything else, gather your materials. This is anything that you might need in the future, like things on your laptop, presentations, reports, anything that you may need to access down the line for your portfolio, resume, or cover letter. Also send out a Slack or email to everybody saying it was a pleasure to work with you. Here's my personal email, my LinkedIn. Number 3, ask HR for a layoff letter. It should be a written letter detailing your last day, your last paycheck, and severance if any. Next, Google how to apply for unemployment in your state. Again, you did not get fired. Do not let this dent your self-esteem. This could be a blessing in disguise. It could be a space and time allowing you to do something you've always wanted to do. I'm really sorry this happened to you, but I hope that it can lead to something great. Follow for more career advice.
I'm going to say something that might upset you. If you got laid off from your job, you actually do need to make a LinkedIn layoff post. Oh, trust me, I cringe every time I post on LinkedIn. And people are like, wow, I could never have the confidence. Girl, I don't have the confidence either. But I got laid off in January, like mid-January. By February 5th, I had a new job. Like, my severance covered my entire unemployment because I posted on LinkedIn the day that I got laid off from my old job. And I know that it was a LinkedIn post because an old interviewer reached out to me from that post and said, hey, there's actually a position open. I'll send your resume over to like the person who's hiring for the position. And the position was like unlisted. I was able to get an interview and like go through the whole interview process that I would have never known about had I not posted about it. Because if you don't let people know that you're looking for a job, All of the people that you've met across your career have no idea that they should be considering you when their company's like, hey, you can refer someone and get a bonus.
At 3 months, I thought I would never get to 6 months. At 6 months, I thought I'd never get to 9 months. And here we are at 12 months. I've officially been laid off for 1 year now. I would have never thought that a year would pass and I'd still be looking for a job. I was certain at that point that, you know, I'd get my severance and then I'd land a position really quickly and then I'd have like this extra money to just do whatever with. But that's not how it worked out. It's taken a lot to kind of just come to terms with that. And on top of that, just 11 days ago, I celebrated my 30th birthday. So I never thought I'd be stepping into 30 unemployed. It makes me feel really stagnant in life. It makes me feel like once I do land a job, I'll just be financially playing catch up. I feel like I've had to put some things on hold and it just sucks. I am extremely fortunate in that my husband has been absolutely incredible during this process. He's taken on a lot to make sure that we're both financially okay. I also have like the most amazing family and the most amazing friends, which has made this process like bearable. I mean, it still sucks. It sucks so bad. It truly sucks. But it has helped tremendously. It honestly feels kind of embarrassing to say that like I've gone a full year unemployed. I've done an insane amount of job applications. I feel like I've only had a handful of interviews. I've had a slew of rejections, but most of all, I feel like I've been ghosted by more employers than I've ever heard back from. It just feels really overwhelming. I do believe that the opportunity that is meant for me is not going to pass me by. I believe that everything happens in God's timing, not our own. No matter how bad we want it, it happens in His timing and not the timing that we perceive it should happen in. But it doesn't make it not sad. It doesn't make it not depressing. The right opportunity for me is out there. I just haven't come across it yet, apparently. And as much as I want to just run and hit me like right now, it's going to happen when it's meant to. This has been the hardest journey. And it hasn't been all bad. I've definitely learned a lot during this time. I've grown a lot during this time. I picked up a new hobby that I really enjoy, but it's hard. It's really hard. I'm confident that I will look back a year from now and be in a completely different situation.
I got laid off from my job at LTK almost a week ago, last Tuesday. The day that I got laid off, I woke up with the flu. So I've been out of it in many ways for almost a week now. Some of you guys may follow me from my time working at LTK. A few years ago, I was posting a lot of like in-office days and stuff like that. I had been at LTK for about 3.5 years. This fall, it would have been my 4th year at LTK, which is so crazy. So it feels really, really wild to be back, like applying for jobs, interviewing for jobs. When I started at LTK, I really thought that that was going to be like my end all be all. But I am a firm believer that God does not do anything by accident, of course. So if there's a reason for me getting laid off, then it's just like a time thing. Time will tell. So I feel really honestly at peace about it. I'm honestly really excited for my next steps and what's to come. So with that being said, I also wanted to make this video because I feel like there's a lot of people out there that I've like made connections with. I've built my platform on TikTok and I'm kind of just putting this video out there to see if anyone will have opportunities maybe at their jobs or know of someone. I have worked in the marketing like campaign space for over 6 years. I feel like I have a really solid resume and I'm really proud of all of my experience and like what I've learned since graduating college and working full time. So for my next role, my new kind of dream job, if you will, is to work for a brand or work at a brand like in-house and be on their influencer marketing team. If you guys know anyone, if you know any brands that are operating with those roles, would love to know. Also with me doing TikTok and like influencing, if you will, very much open to like brand collaborations, partnerships, things like that on like my personal side of things in this, you know,
in between while I find a new job. I wanted to give you guys an update, but also just wanted to put myself out there, and I would be happy to send anyone my resume or what I've done for work in the past. I've never been laid off before, so this is just like something new that I will be navigating. If you've been laid off, send me your tips and tricks. I guess fortunately and unfortunately, there's a group of girls at LTK who I love. They are dear friends of mine, I consider, and we're all in the same boat together. So really helped get me through this last week and, you know, what's to come. I feel like this video has made no sense. I don't think my brain's working yet from getting over the flu. So keep me in mind for anything that you guys see. Love ya. Bye.
My friend just got laid off and she texted me and asked if I had any job hunting tips, and boy do I ever. So here are my top tips for surviving a layoff and landing your next job. Tip number 1, the first week after you get laid off, don't do shit, okay? Think of it as like a week-long vacation. Don't open LinkedIn, don't update your resume, don't look for jobs. You need time to process what just happened because it was fucked up and you're pissed and you're scared and you don't know what you're gonna do. Just take the time to process it before you dive into this hellhole of an experience, which is job hunting. The second thing is create different versions of your resume. So figure out what areas of, you know, jobs that you want to apply to. I had about 3 different job types I was applying to, so I had 3 different resumes. One was for chief of staff, one was for a program manager, one was for an operations role. They will require different keywords, different work examples, and it'll just be easier for you to start actually applying to roles once those resumes are created. Tip 3, after you've scoured LinkedIn for roles that you want to apply to, before you apply to any, start a fucking spreadsheet to track that shit. You're gonna add the company name, the date you applied, a link to the job posting, what resume did you use to apply. It's so hard to go back and try and find a job posting after 4 weeks of not hearing anything. So you're gonna want a tracker. Tip 4, stalk people on LinkedIn. I'm serious. I stalked the shit out of people on LinkedIn. I reached out to people that I hadn't talked to in years so that they could connect me to a third connection of theirs. And you know what? It worked. And I got internal referrals, and those things are lifesavers. So I know we hate LinkedIn. Honestly, fuck LinkedIn, but it is a necessary evil. Tip 5, when you land an interview, here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna choose 3 stories from your career, and those 3 stories you should be able to apply to any interview question. For example, I led my company's annual business planning process. I can use that story if an interviewer asks me, tell me about a time you've worked with cross-functional teams. Tell me about a time you disagreed with leadership. Tell me about a time you led a strategic initiative. And figure out your top stories that you're gonna tell no matter what interview question you get asked. So you've applied to 237 jobs, you haven't heard back from any, and now you're just waiting. Here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna go outside. Get your ass outside and go on a walk. After you get outside, you're gonna sit on your couch and let yourself rot a little bit, okay? It's fine. You can watch TV, you don't have anything else to do. Can't spend money. Try not to feel guilty about that. And you're also gonna like go do fun shit. You're in a position now where you can like meet your friends at their work for lunch. I mean, that sounds fun, right? When was the last time you could do that? Go to a museum at 2 p.m. on a Wednesday. Pick up your niece and nephew from school. You're gonna find things that are fun, keep you connected to your family and friends, and keep you busy. The last thing you're gonna wanna do is just drink a lot of alcohol. I hope that helps. Okay, bye.
Here are the ways that I make extra money while unemployed and job hunting in San Francisco: dog walking, cat sitting, and tutoring.
So I got laid off. It's been 4 days. I worked there for 9 years and had all my major life milestones there. I've made incredible friends, have incredible coworkers, but the biggest takeaway I have from this experience is to take advantage of all the benefits your company offers you. Take all your PTO. Work the system to take as many days as you can. Negotiate for more days. Take your maternity leave. Take your full paternity leave. Literally any benefit that they are giving you, take advantage, because at the end of the day, all they care about is their bottom line. And as soon as that starts to suffer, they are not going to think twice about
laying off as many people as they need. So just don't kill yourself at work because you're just a number on a spreadsheet.
One of the things I did after the layoff, all of my medical rounds, I went to go see the doctor, I went to the dentist, got my eyes checked. So those 3 things, made sure I had my logins to like Workday, my retirement account for like Vanguard, and also stock plan that we had. So I just made sure that I could log in. You can sign up for unemployment. Still waiting for the money to hit my account. So surrounded myself with my support system because you go through so many emotions, and at first you feel like, oh god, this kind of sucks. So you're really sad, and then you're like, oh my god, this is amazing. I reached out to people at my workplace. If I had a positive experience with them and I wanted to continue that relationship, made sure I did that, checked in with those people who got laid off before you or even after you, reaching out and even asking for advice to see if there's anything else that you're missing or like you need to do, or just extending some support. Nice to kind of just have someone to talk to who's also going through it. Reach out to those people. Last but not least, I rested. I would like stay in bed for longer than I should and just lay in my feelings, I would say. Told myself I'd give myself a little after our family vacation trip. The week that I got back, decided kind of what I wanted to do next with work. Just give yourself time to reset, recharge, because there really is no timeline to get back on your feet. But this is just what I did after I got laid off. Hope this was helpful.
It's been 1 year since I got laid off as a software engineer, so let's talk about it. I finally feel like I am at a place where I can talk about it, and especially with all the ongoing layoffs, it definitely hits home more than ever right now. When I first started working as an entry-level dev, AI wasn't exactly the hot commodity that it is today, and the way I see it, I feel like tech and software engineering has become increasingly unsustainable as a career. I had a pretty traumatic experience while working at my company for 2 years, and I was reorged roughly 5 times. And my skip at one point told me that we were all just pawns to be rearranged. I was working nonstop to fix messy legacy code, and once everything was fixed and I was up for promotion, I was immediately laid off, and it was one of the most dehumanizing experiences that I have ever been through. So then what's next? I honestly still don't fully know, and I feel like at my age I should have a better grasp on my career and life direction, and it's kind of embarrassing that I don't. But I do know that I don't want to return to software engineering in the same capacity as I was before. Don't really have any desires to interview or get another job right now. Last year, it genuinely felt like life was just happening to me and I had no control over it. And I started having so much anxiety that I had my first panic attacks. I barely had time to react to anything that was unfolding, and this year I just really want to focus on getting some of that agency back in my life. This year I really want to focus on getting back control, and my heart really goes out to everyone who is going through all these layoffs. It's really rough out there, but you're not alone. And thank you for listening.
3 tips for surviving a layoff by someone who was recently laid off. Number 1, create healthy morning habits. Wake up early, make that special cup of coffee. Set your intentions for the day. Number 2, get outside and move your body. It's so good for your mental health to just be in the sunshine and be in the fresh air.
Taylor's here with her 12-foot wings. She just has that crazy.
And lastly, number 3, create a to-do list. Create a list of all the things you want to accomplish in the day, how many applications you want to submit, what resume edits you have. It'll feel so good checking off each one of those throughout your day. Best of luck, hang in there.
There are very few more jarring feelings than the rug pulled out from under you experience that is getting laid off. So if this happens to you, these are 3 essential steps you should take. I know your initial instincts are screaming to frantically update your resume and start doom scrolling LinkedIn, but step 1 is the gift of resistance. Because research from UC Irvine's Dr. Roxanne Cohen-Silver found that rushing straight into problem-solving mode can prolong the psychological recovery after experiencing a trauma. And yes, a layoff is a trauma. You have to feel your feelings, process that loss, but give yourself a deadline to do it. And at the end of this period, aim for acceptance rather than wishing things were different. Know that never-ending list of job search tasks where it feels like somehow you have to do everything all at once? Like, that can actually trigger intense decision fatigue and mental exhaustion. So step 2 is to make a plan. And you don't have to do it yourself. Like, try asking ChatGPT to make you a day-by-day personalized recovery plan. You can ask it to map out everything from your severance paperwork to your updated healthcare. You can ask it to help you research for your next target role. It can update your resume and cover letter. It can even suggest time management techniques so that you avoid this point of like burnt out stress. We are trying to take that giant pile of overwhelm and transform it into neat and tidy little check boxes that you can just go down one by one. And step 3, if you can't control anything else in your world, you can always control your attitude. Will you choose curiosity or cynicism? Will you choose determination or defeat? The perspective that you choose is the lens that impacts your reality. This advice was adapted from Mel Robbins' podcast episode about what to do when it feels like nothing is going your way. So if you want a deeper dive on any of this, definitely go give that a listen and keep going. I'm proud of you.